So this is love.
So this is love.
I love this city, New York, especially our part of it. Midtown, west of Broadway, the neighborhood the realtors have tried to rechristen Clinton, but will always be Hell's Kitchen. West of the bustle of 9th Avenue's Restaurant Row, it's the perfect blend of pre- and post-Giuliani New York City. I share the neighborhood with Tony nominee Hunter Foster and the sleepwalking denizens of a couple halfway houses. It is home to the cuisines of at least a dozen different countries and a host of colorful characters. My favorite is Chihuahua Man. Walks up and down the streets every day, clutching the world's oldest chihuahua, only letting it down on the ground to do its business very quickly till he's scooped up again in the cutest scarves and jackets you ever saw. If you keep heading west, past Barrage, the noise level of the city drops tremendously as you cross 10th Avenue. We're in the extreme west side. Further west and you'd be in the river, so I guess it's technically beachfront property. Just down the street from the little gallery that no one ever goes in, but we're glad is there, and across the street from the sweet smells of the Sullivan Street Bakery lies the 450 square feet that I call home. It's a one-bedroom as long as your definition of a bedroom doesn't involve doors. That is about the size of the average double wide, which I share with 2 cats and 1 fella. We met handing out CDs for the off-Broadway musical Bear about gay Catholic schoolboys, and 6 months later we moved in together. I know, the lesbian jokes almost write themselves. We are mad men living as an odd couple. He washes dishes, I break them. He drinks fine wine, and I chase my shots with beer. This was a concrete lot before he got to it. He's done the same thing to New York for me. This place used to just be a pit stop between regional theaters and boat gigs where I had to come to get the next job. But now it's home, because it's where he is. One thing we have in common is an intense love of theater, and while I've been doing it since I was a kid, David has the business in his blood. His grandfather wrote the themes to all those 80s shows that you love. He even won a Grammy for it. And while I aspired to work on Broadway, David actually does. Growing up, my wise mother said, "Make sure who you marry is a step up." And marry up I did. So, we made it legal. No, not federally. Not yet. But January 16th, 2010, at the Woodstock Inn in Woodstock, Vermont, we did it.
We stand today at an exciting moment in history. Jacob loves David, David loves Jacob. So much so that they are willing to publicly forsake all others, so much so that they are willing to gather together their families and friends in the middle of winter, in New England, on a holiday weekend. It is my joyful charge to declare that you are united in marriage. What is hereby joined together, let no one put asunder.
About 30 dear friends and family joined us for the greatest wedding ever thrown together in less than 4 weeks by the matrimonial machine, Sandy Carpenter, my new mother-in-law. It was the greatest day of my life. So far. So, was my wedding day everything I dreamed it'd be as a little girl? No, because I never dreamed I'd have one. I never thought that that would happen for me. One guy to love me for the rest of my life. Growing up, I always thought that a platonic will and grace coexistence was the best I could ever hope for. And I had convinced myself that I was okay with that. But now, well, my wise father, who's been married 30 plus years, told me there are 2 decisions in life that will decide most of your happiness. What you do and who you spend your life with. Well, I'm still trying to do what I want to do, but I know who I want to spend my life with. So on this, the 1-year anniversary of my marriage, what do I think of it? My mind keeps going back to old Chihuahua guy in the neighborhood. I was walking with a friend of mine and trying to explain him to her. And after a pause, I said, "I feel just like that." And she said, "How's that anyway like you? That old lonely guy with a cane in one hand, carrying that dog like it's his most precious possession." And I said to her, "It's not the man that I identify with."